Welcome back to the channel.
Right.
Welcome back to Meet Your Neighbours Unplugged. And today I am thrilled to have a gentleman who featured in the first Meet Your Neighbours last year, and that is Japic O Death. How you doing, Japic?
Just fine. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem, mate. Just for the viewers at home, can I ask you the first question of what I ask everybody is, where are you currently residing? What part of? I know you're in the US, but where about?
I am from the state of Colorado.
Yep.
Rock.
And were you born in Colorado, or have you kind of?
I am.
You are. So have you
Yeah.
lived in the same kind of area most of your life, or have you moved around?
Moved around a little bit, but mostly it's in the Denver and the suburbs. We're a very sprawling city, so there's lots of places to be.
Nice. And so is it suburban life that you have, or is it a little bit further out in the kind of more rural area?
Definitely suburban.
And do you prefer that, Japic, or is it, or would you prefer to be somewhere different?
I like where I'm at. The truth is, I can get on the highway right next to my house, and I can be in the mountains in 5 minutes.
Nice.
If I need to be downtown from where I'm at, I can be there in about 10. But I don't prefer to go downtown very much. It's a whole different scene down there.
And so is it a reasonable sized population where you are, or is it small? Or I know, talking to a few others.
I mean, Denver is a big city, I
Mhm.
guess,
Yeah.
for our region, but I mean, nowhere compared to New York or Philadelphia or any of those. Those things are massive.
Okay, so roughly what would be the population of Denver, do you reckon?
I have no idea. I
Okay.
don't keep up on stuff like that.
I will need to look that up. Just I'm curious because I know we've had some people that have grown up in the country and some people that have grown up cities, and it's kind of nice to get a perspective on where people grew up. I know I grew up in a country area with a fairly small population, and so it does kind of mold you. So, how long have you been doing YouTube now, Japic?
How long have I been on YouTube? What was it? 2016? Am I 3 years old now? Something like that?
Nice. And what
I
more?
want to say. Go ahead.
Go. No, you go.
I think it was spring of 16.
Okay. And what kind of motivated you to start your YouTube channel?
Well, I figured I could sit on my ass and play video games by myself, or I could sit on my ass and play video games and maybe with other people. I grew up in the generation where you sat around with your friends and you played those games. You had your co-op games, and
Yep.
otherwise you took turns at whatever else you were doing.
Yep.
And so I don't know, I always loved a couch co-op with my friends, and it just seemed a good social outlet for me. Since honestly, I don't get out much these days. When I'm not working or taking care of the family, I'm kind of a homebody.
Okay. Yeah. I think there's a certain time in our life when we're all like that, especially once we have a family. Kind of keeps you busy and consumes a lot of time, and then you add work on top of that, and yeah, there never seems to be a lot of time left for yourself at parts of your life. I know I've been there, and come out of that now because my kids are all grown up. So.
I'll just rub it in, why don't you?
You'll get there. It's actually treasure this time because it is a very
No.
very nice time to be part of the life. So
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry.
no, I know. Plasman was saying on the weekend during when we're streaming that his 12-year-old daughter was playing 76. It's kind of something they do together, and I said to him, that's a special time. Grab it and enjoy it and have as much time as you can doing that, because there's going to become a time when they're going to not want to know dad or mum and do something on their own, become independent. So
Absolutely.
for the people that are listening, what kind of content do you generally put out on your channel, Japic, and how often do you put content out?
Well, I play video games.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No. Oh, you want more?
Yeah, a little bit more. Just
in general.
What kind of video games, and what's the thinking
I'm
about?
messing with you, man. I play Fallout. I love RPGs, Assassin's Creeds, But, lately, of course, Vault Girl and I have been trying to get people cooking as well, and I've been kind of slow on putting those videos out. But truthfully, we're getting into our busy season at work, so we're going to start working our 6-day weeks and anywhere from 9 to 12 hours each day. So we have to see
and
how much time I actually have for this here in a minute.
And I think you have a very kind of smart strategy, and we all, it's something that we all kind of face as YouTubers, I think, because especially small YouTubers, it's not a paid job. It's a hobby, and it's something that we have to fit in around, life. And I think for you generally do a couple of streams on the weekends, and that's how you put your content at, which I think is pretty smart, because it gives you the outlet, but you're not tied to it as such.
Yeah, no, I've never been able to stick to a schedule. My life's just too crazy for that. But I do like to stream on the weekends when I can. Almost every Friday for certain. I've only missed a couple in recent memory. But then if I can, I've also been trying to put out some other content, do the cooking videos when I can, or I had been doing a series for a little while, but I kind of stalled out on that because I ran out of pre-recorded stuff because my weekends have been busy.
Yeah. So,
but I was trying to post those on Tuesdays and Thursdays as just canned videos. But
it's I hear what you're saying though, because I'm supposed to do a cooking video and I still can't. I just keep trying to get round to it, and it's just seems to be other things jumping in front of it. So I completely get where you're coming from.
There's always more things.
Oh, I know. There always will be as well. And
always.
I do like your segment on. I do like your segment where you do a one night rental. I actually love that segment.
Oh.
I really do. I think that's a great little segment that you've come up with. I don't know if that was something that just evolved, but it's kind of cool to get that perspective. As you know, you and I have talked a little bit about this in the past, that that's the reason why I put different games on my channel, is to at least people can get a feel for a game before they make that decision to buy it. So,
well, yeah, the truth is that's all I'm doing. I'm trying to find out if I like it, and there have been some that I tried and I enjoyed and I did buy them. There's been others I said, yep, not happen that again. Nope, we're out. So that is a fun segment, and it's always good to go for the retro stuff when I find the time for that.
And it was kind of interesting to see that you went to 76, Fallout 76 on the weekend, and 10 hours later, wow, I couldn't believe when I saw the length of your stream.
Well, the truth is I wanted to do it early in the day so I could get my friends from the other side of the globe hopefully involved.
Yep.
I've got friends over there in the UK.
Yeah.
And if I get home at 8 o'clock at night, it's the middle of the morning for them. They're well on their way to bed by then, and they're gone.
Yes.
Play late to have a chance of seeing them. So it was nice to be able to start early enough that some of them were still up, and then continue on the next morning. And several people woke up to me as well. So that was
cool.
It was good in that regard.
And Fallout 76 is, I know you said on the stream, it's quite a different experience, and it's kind of weird to have other people in your game, but it's kind of nice too. I know a whole group of people that I would probably normally never had the opportunity to game with, I have in 76, and it's been heck of a lot of fun. So I'm glad you had that experience. Yeah,
as I said, I love the couch co-op.
Yep.
And when I don't have friends on my couch, why not co-op somewhere else?
Yep.
So that part doesn't offend me. The thing that just makes it really tough, for example, with 76, and honestly, I think this is for any kind of multiplayer game that's very social like these ones. As a streamer, I don't feel that the chat gets the attention that they should. That I cannot give them enough of my time after they've come out to see me.
Yep.
There's all the stuff with the game going on. There's all the stuff with the my friends going on,
Yep.
the live stuff, I should say, with all those friends, and then there's all the friends in the chat.
Yep.
And there are times where there's so much going on, any of it at once, much less one or two or all three.
Yeah, I agree, and I know sitting and running a chat can be running a stream. Until you get used to doing that, it can be lots of moving parts and lots of things going on at once. So yeah, the 76 does kind of amplify that, I guess, is the best way of putting that, and add a new element of what you have to manage during everything. So
if I do ever continue that game, I don't think it'll be in streams. It's just I don't think it's fair to the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And I really am trying not to stream games of that nature. I play Destiny 2 as well.
Yes.
And more often than not, when I play not for YouTube. I just play.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel that I can give the chat the attention they need. So
that's great.
I mean, you're having a real-time conversation with other happenings, and everybody else is 30 seconds behind.
Yeah.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Sometimes they've got a bad connection and they're a full minute behind, and you go, what was that about? I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And that's very easy to do, especially if the chat's moving, and it can move very, very quickly at times versus what you're doing on screen. So
yep.
So I wanted to ask the question, and I've asked this of quite a few people, and there's always an interesting story behind it. Where did you get the name Japic O Death?
That came from it was a Renaissance reenactment group that I was part of. Oh boy, how long ago was that? Not quite 20 years. Not quite. But everybody coming into it, you kind of had to have a character, a persona.
Mm-hmm.
And, I decided that there was just a lot of different elements of my life where I kind of found that there was somewhat of a piratical theme.
Mm-hmm.
And so I decided I was going to just be a pirate who didn't give two shits about anything and was doing it my own way. And, the king says do this. Well, I don't care. I'm my king. But I ended up choosing the origin. My family comes from Holland a few generations back, and so I chose of my name. And at first, it was supposed to be that I was Japic, and what were my people calling me? We had like houses, groups that we were kind of arranged into, and my people called me the evil overlord of death. Somebody shortened it to O Death, and then it just became Japic O Death. So, and that's not even officially how the word's supposed to be pronounced. It's just too worry about most. The J is more of an H and a Y at the same time. So
okay.
I don't even think I can say it right.
That's a fantastic story, though, man. Thank you for sharing that. It's
yeah.
Like I said, there's always a little story, and I think gamer tags or the channel name or whatever it might be are always personal to you, and there's always a little name reason behind it. So,
speaking of, what's yours? I mean, we can all say that we're just gaming. Why?
It was Gaming for XP was really, I was looking for a name for the channel, and I kind of sat down and thought, well, what do I do what do I do? What do I want to add to the channel, and what do I want to do with the channel, and what do I actually do with my gaming? And basically, I'm looking, every game that you play, you're basically looking for those achievements and move forward in any particular game, and you get rewarded by increasing your XP, and that's sort of where the name came from. It was trying to find something that had a point of difference that nobody else had on YouTube. So that's kind of my kind of thought process for the channel was, okay, how can I put videos up that help people achieve to get further in certain games, and in the process, increase their XP as they're doing it. So that was kind of the background behind that channel name.
Well, good. You're actually providing a community service.
Yeah, so
I'm just a guy over here playing video games.
you're more than a guy just playing video games. But anyway, so I mean, that's what you do with your channel at the moment. Have you got any kind of plans for the future, or where you want to take the channel, or is it pretty much same?
I'd have to quote the Joker on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Do I look like the kind of guy who's got a plan? I mean,
Well, we never know.
what am I gonna?
You never know.
No, I don't have any plan.
I mean, I don't have a plan. I don't have a plan either, to be honest. But
but you have goals, and the truth is, I don't even have goals. I just want to play video games and talk to my friends and share stuff, and see what other people are doing. When I have the time.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's never been about the subscriber count. It's always just been about hanging out.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think a lot of people make the mistake of winding themselves up and stressing themselves out with that number that is the subscriber count, and I think it's probably the wrong kind of way to approach YouTube, because that'll go up and down. But you're doing okay. Your subscriber count's pretty healthy at the moment, and I had a look the other day, so.
Yeah, it's somewhere around 350, but that's kind of where I've been for a while. I don't know.
But you have a nice group of people that constantly show up, and I think that's the thing that I value a heck of a lot more than anything else with having started a YouTube channel, is the community of people that I've managed to have around me, and the people that I've met, and the conversations that I'm having like this one. I value that a heck of a lot more, because I've met some amazing people from all over the world, and so YouTube's allowed me to do that. So I don't know if you feel the same.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I mean, there's some great people out there I never would have had a chance to meet. I mean, it literally, well, not my town, I guess, but in my state, I've made 2 good friends through the internet that I never would have met otherwise. And there's another fella that I've recently met, and I don't know if we're gonna get to be closer friends or not. But hell, I met him in Australia on a chat.
Nice.
So, and he's 2 miles from my house.
Fantastic. That's amazing. That's quite amazing. So what is it that attracts you to gaming, Japic?
I need to get away, man.
So
I need to distract myself.
So does it take you to somewhere else, or I mean, is it the Immersion? What is it?
I don't know exactly the best way to say it. I mean, I guess Mikey kind of touched on it in your interview with him about how he he just needs to escape and to wind down and to get away from whatever it is that's got him. For me, it's kind of the same. I've read books all my life, pretty much, and novels, fantasy novels. I like the stories, to go other places and do other things, and the video games kind of give us a chance to be somebody else.
Yep.
I've never wanted to be a soldier like Mikey, but that doesn't mean to play the medieval knight or to be an assassin or whatever. That there's so many worlds to explore that aren't my life. And yeah, it's a very kind of almost hollow experience in a way, because it is just a game, but at least I get to experience it a little, even if it's romanticized or whatever.
I think if it's done well, you I don't know, this is how I feel. I think if it's done well, you don't even realize how much immersion is happening to you in some games.
Sometimes, yeah. You find yourself very invested in characters and storylines and locations, and oh no, not my dog,
And then you look up and it's 2:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, well, let's not even get started on the build problem. One more thing. Just put this over here real quick. Oh, and then that spot, and then that spot, and that spot, that spot. Yes, forever.
But and I think that's where you and I met. You and I met a couple of years ago, and I remember the build very, very specifically. It was the one you were doing at Grey Gardens under the underpass, and but yeah, building is a very kind of therapeutic thing. I think, and I think having spoke to many people that build in Fallout 4, we all kind of have the same feeling about it. It is again, it's an extension of what you just said about just having that place to go off and not worry about the world for a while, and just be a little bit invested in a little fantasy world, or building, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. For me also, it's an outlet for my creativity.
Yep.
Which I generally don't have a lot of outlets for.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for instance, your survivalist challenge. What did you call it?
Yeah, survival challenge. Yeah.
For that one, I saw an opportunity, and it was something I'd never seen done before, and I really wanted myself, and I loved the hell out of that one. It was a big old pain in the ass for a lot of it, but I was really satisfied with the result, and it's just, as you said, there's a therapy to it, but at the same time, it allows me to just kind of express myself in a different medium, I suppose.
Yeah, and I loved that build that you done for that challenge, and I think that is the thing that really keeps me coming back to building in Fallout 4 is the challenge of trying to go push that envelope just that little bit further, and it'll certainly allow you to do that.
Yeah, I need to find my spark again right now. I'm definitely kind of don't have it at the moment. I don't know how to get back into my building and love it like I was.
Yeah, and I think we all go through those periods where you've had enough, and I think Fallout 76 for me allowed me just to get away from that for a while and then come back to it. And when I did come back to it, I was a little bit rejuvenated, if you like. So that's how I personally done it. But I do understand, because I think, especially with the creative process, it's there's only so many buildings you can do, and then you're kind of going, what can I do that I haven't done before? And maybe it's better to do less buildings and let that kind of creative process come to you, and then you can do something rather than force it.
It's funny you mention the overpass. What do you want to call it? I have still never officially finished that build. It's not done. I haven't finished junk decorating it, and it's something that I always wanted to go back to, and I need to put it down for posterity, and yeah, it's kind of weird to think that it's been so long since I built on it, but
yeah, well, that's something I know. When my first playthrough with Fallout 4, I had the same. I just used to get to a certain point and then go off and play the game. I guess we're having a YouTube channel where you're doing builds, it forces you to finish things, but I'd suffer from the same thing.
Well, see, and I was building all that live stream.
Yes, you were.
So it was all always with the chat and talking to people and whatever. And I don't know, when it came down to decorating, nobody wants to watch 6 hours of decorating. Certainly not me. I don't want to do it, so I have other people watch.
That's when you get Denise in to do the decorating for you.
I've said that for years. If only.
Yeah, I think that's a service she could offer to the whole community. I think there's a few of us that would love her.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, we'll finish off with some quick fire questions.
Sure.
First video game you ever played?
First ever, I don't know, that's hard. It's got to be some sort of a arcade like Pac-Man or something like that. I don't specifically recall. I know that somebody in my life had had Pong.
Yep.
We never owned one. And I know that other people had, what was it called, Intellivision.
Oh, yes, I remember the old Intellivision. Yes, I do.
Yep.
My friend of mine still got one, believe it or not.
I do believe. So I don't know. It had to be something way back when. Okay. I just couldn't specifically put my finger on it.
What about the first game that you ever bought with your own money?
Oh, that's another. The first one I can specifically remember, like really wanting and really going out to get, gosh, I was in high school and I bought a PC copy of Final Fantasy VII.
Wow. Okay.
And that was my first wow moment. And then, like 7 days of loading off of 14 discs.
I remember.
You know how it is.
I remember those days. So if you had to make a decision on your favorite video game of all time, what would it be?
I can't. There's too many. You mentioned kids. Do you love all your kids equally? If you had to pick a favorite, could you?
Oh yeah, no problem.
I mean, I know every parent's supposed to say no, I don't have a favorite, but the truth is, we've all got somebody we like just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know which video game that would be over the years. There's just been so many.
Well, I'll make it a little bit easier. What about your favorite video game series?
Favorite series? Let's see. I didn't get started in Fallout till Fallout 3, but I enjoyed 3 and New Vegas and 4 and not so much 76 as far as the whole picture. Assassin's Creed I didn't get involved in until Black Flag. And even then I haven't played all of them since that. Gosh, I way back in the day playing XCOM on the computer, the very first XCOM, and then I've enjoyed that one through the year, and that's kind of instilled in me a love of turn-based strategy games.
Yep.
But I can't. There's so many good ones, so many.
But I think you've answered the question without answering the question. If there was a place so if I came to you and said, Japic, here's an airline ticket, where would you go? The money doesn't matter. Here's an airline ticket. Go wherever you want to in the world. Where would it be?
Okay, who am I going with? That would make a difference.
Up to you.
Boy, oh boy. I would love to be able to come down to Australia and visit you fine folks down there. I understand there's some pretty wild country down your direction.
Certainly is.
At the same time, list for my life is to kind of go find my family's origins. Go back to our roots in Holland.
In the Netherlands.
See if I can find the town that my family came from, however many generations ago it was that we picked up our name. Nice.
It's a fun country. It's a fun country. I went there when I was 16 and got very, very drunk, but that's for another time slot. Fantastic. And the final question, Mike. First concert that you ever went to?
The first concert I can remember that was like my concert, that I wanted to go to, that I bought tickets to with my friends. That's the one I'm going to answer, because the other ones, I don't think they even matter, and I don't hardly remember them.
Yep.
Bush.
Oh, really? Bush.
90s alt rock, and I don't even remember who played with them, but that was my, junior year, I think.
Yep.
So.
And from that, do you listen to a lot of music, or is it?
Not as much as some people I know. There's some folk I know that are real huge audiophiles, and I never had the bug.
Yep.
I listen to music that's on the radio, but at the same time, I was raised on so many different kinds of music. Yep. I know oldies and 70s, and I grew up in the 80s, and then I got my own music in the 90s. And
yep.
Then there was techno and electronic music, and there are so many genres. But the only thing I don't like are opera and I guess hardcore rap. Okay. Those are the two that are really out for me.
So everything else is in. Fantastic. Well, that's it, Japic. Thanks so much for taking the time. It's great to always get to know people and get to know what their lives are about. So I thank you very much for taking the time out to join us.
Well, thanks for taking the time to want to get to know me.
Not a problem.
I guess.
Okay, guys, that is it for Meet Your Neighbours Unplugged today. I will leave a link to Japic's channel down below in the description. Please hop over to his channel, show him some Gaming for XP love, have a look around, and certainly make sure that you join his streams. They're a lot of fun. A lot of real great people that join in and just kick back and play a little bit of video games and have a bit of a chat. So we will catch you next time on the channel. Thanks for joining us. Say good night, Japic.
I'm sorry, what did you say you cut out there?
Say good night.
Good night. I'm sorry, it was a bad time for a cut.
Not a problem. We'll see you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.
Bye-bye.